So I got some folks in the studio here that are going to be practicing with me. So this is a power hour class, and we are going to be focusing on core strengthening. So this is a core class, you guys. So if you happen to have props, not that you have to have props for this class, I've got a couple of blocks. You don't need blocks, but if you happen to have one, it'll come in handy, okay? So we're going to get right to it, you guys. Let's start in mountain pose. And again, welcome. So I invite you to stand near the top of your mat with your feet about hip distance apart and your toes pointing forward. We like to take the first few moments of our practice just to get tuned in, to really settle in. Feel free to close your eyes or soften your eyes. And just tune into your breath. You might take a couple of slow, deep breaths in and out. And just settle into the awareness of your own breathing. Good. Just feeling your breath. Feel it move through your body. And if you need to breathe a little slower or longer or deeper, go ahead and do so you really get that sense of connecting to your own breath. And if you'd like, just to deepen this connection, just turn up the volume of your breath. Just breathe a little louder. Just hear that nice oceanic sound. Now, breath is key for our practice today. It grounds us, gives us support, it centers us, it brings us here to stillness. But of course, it will also help us move, tap into our own strength. So as you're still standing in mountain pose, as you're able, take a nice full in breath, fill up your lungs, feel that nice expansiveness in the upper region of your body. Now as you exhale, as you're able, draw your navel inward toward your spine. So we're engaging that abdominal lock. It's that light contraction of your abdominal muscles. So again, as you breathe in, you feel the breath rising, filling up your lungs. You might even stand a little taller. Exhale and draw navel inward towards spine. Feel that action, that energy in your center. Take 2 more breaths like that. And we're ready to move with breath at your own pace. Let's inhale and extend your arms overhead, reaching high like you're going to touch the ceiling. Big stretch. Exhale it, swan dive forward. So it's a good hinge from your hips. Bend your knees as much as you need to. Good. As you make your way down towards your toes. Now you don't have to touch your toes at this point as we begin. Then inhale, slide your hands up to your knees or your thighs and extend your spine. Then exhale, let's fold back down to that nice forward fold. Now, if you need to or want to, you can always bend your knees a little bit more to touch your toes. Or you can just keep this a little bit more mild, and maybe your hands are just resting lightly at your shins, maybe your knees. If you happen to be hanging heavily forward, just kind of feel a looseness in the upper body, maybe big circles with your shoulders. Roll them backward, roll them forward, and even a little gentle shake of your head, just being aware if you're holding any tension, any tightness in your upper back or neck or shoulders. Just to let a nice exhale through the mouth to let it all go. Let's do another spinal extension. Just inhale, slide your hands back up to your knees or thighs, rising up only halfway so you're forming like a tabletop with your body. Exhale, let's fold again. We're going to keep it moving. Here, shift your weight back into your heels, bend your knees, and let your hips drop like you're sitting down into a chair. Look forward. That will extend the spine. We're really breaking this down. Take the arms out to the side, and then just sweep the arms up and stand up. Yeah, reaching into the sky, big stretch. Then exhale, bring your palms together and down to your heart. Let's just move through that same series once again, our half salute. When you're ready, inhale, sweep the arms out and up, reaching high. Exhale, leading with your heart, fold forward, good hinge from hips, bent knees. Good. Yes, inhale, rise up halfway. Feel the top of your head lead you forward. Form that tabletop. Exhale, fold again. Just a brief pause. Feel that weight shift back into the heels. Bend your knees. Let the hips drop. Look forward. Arms swing out and up to help you rise. Back to extended mountain pose, reaching into the air. Exhale, hands together and down to your heart. Let's just take another pause here. A nice breath in and out. If you'd like, take an opportunity to create an intention for your practice today. Since we are focusing on core, you might think of strength or energy, but really anything that you might be needing from your practice today. Let's continue our flow, adding on. Inhale, sweep your arms out and up. Exhale, swan dive forward. Again, that good hinge from your hips. Bend your knees as much as you need to, maybe touching your toes. Never needing to, though. Inhale, rise up halfway. Feel like you're coming forward with the top of your head. Now, on this exhale, bend your knees enough so you can bend to place your palms on the mat, so you can walk or step both of your feet back into plank pose. Let's pause here for a moment. Now, we are going to hold, but if you need to, you can always bring your knees to the floor if you get a little tired. Just press your hands firmly into the floor, feel the energy and strength in your arms. Even feel your biceps or forearms squeeze in towards each other. You might feel that in your chest area as well. A little lift of the hips so they're not sinking. As you exhale, feel your belly button pull up towards spine to feel that same engagement in your core center. Let's inhale right here. As you exhale, bend your knees a little, send your hips into the air. This is a shortcut, I call it, to downward facing dog. Now you might need to make some adjustments with your hands, perhaps your feet mostly, just to kind of step into the pose. And just settle into the posture. And feel free to add some movement here if you'd like. You can, pedal your feet, stretching the calves, your toes. Let the knees bend, as if you're walking or pedaling a bicycle. Letting your hips shift side to side. And as there's movement in the lower half of the body, just be aware of the upper half of the body. Hands are still pressing firmly into the floor, strong arms. Then come back to neutral. Just pause in your down dog. Take a nice full breath in. As you exhale, walk, step, or even hop both feet back up to the top of the mat. Inhale, rise up halfway. Exhale, fold. Let's keep it moving. Weight shift back into the heels. Bend your knees. Inhale. Reverse your swan dive. Come back up to standing. Reaching into the air. This exhale, take chair pose. Just sitting back and down into your seat. We're just going to keep this moving. A little chair pose. But breathe in. In your exhale, dive out of your seat. Back down towards toes. Forward fold. Going at your own pace. Inhale, rise up halfway. We'll call it monkey pose. Exhale, bent knees, hands to the mat. Walk or step, feet back into plank pose. Hold again for strength. Now for the transition to down dog, you can do the exact same thing. You can bend your knees, send your hips into the air for down dog, or inhale here and exhale, lower your body. Chaturanga Dandasana. You could choose an up dog or cobra. I'm going to move up into up dog. Inhaling into that back bend. Exhale onto toes, hips into the air, downward facing dog. Some adjustments with hands and feet. Let's continue. We're going to inhale, extend right leg up behind you, reach back and long behind you. Exhale, let's guide right foot to the top of the mat. Left heel turns to the floor behind you. Reaching out and rising up, warrior one. On the exhale, fold and bring your hands back down to the mat. Slide right foot back to meet the other. Complete your series. Again, it could be the shortcut or come down, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. All the while, just moving at your own breath pace. Whenever you're ready, and inhale to extend left leg into the air, reach away. Exhale, left foot now up to the top of the mat. Right heel turns to the floor behind you. Feel grounded there. Then inhale to rise up into the sky. Reaching upward. Exhale, let's fold again carefully. Hands to the mat. Step back, plank pose. Same thing. Just complete your series. Together we'll meet in downward facing dog. Pause for a moment in down dog. A couple of breaths. Then we're going to bring the knees to the floor. We're going to actually take a seat. So just sit comfortably. Now you can sit in hero pose or just sit on the floor. Might as well just sit on your mat because we're going to be lying down in a moment. But I want you to watch this for a moment before we go into it. So I'm going to demonstrate something. We're going to go into bridge pose, but we're going to break this down. So let me show you. So we're going to lie down with knees bent, feet flat on the floor. We're going to do some pelvic rocking here to really engage the low abs, the transverse abdominis muscles. And I kind of run my hand across my body, across the waistline, like I was wearing a belt, because that's what it does. The transverse abdominal muscles, like transatlantic. So you're crossing the Atlantic, right? Okay? And so it's low and deep. I call it the abdominal floor, because if we strengthen those muscles, it strengthens the entire body. It really does. So this is how you can activate that pretty easily. So you're going to inhale and arch your back. So I call this a little bridge, because there's a little bridge right here. My hand is the boat, and it can go underneath the bridge right here. That's the inhale, arching the back. My bottom is still on the ground. Then exhale, press low back down into the floor. So it's a pelvic tilt the other way. Pressing low back into the floor, navel draws in towards spine. So it's just a little rocking sensation activated from pelvis. Inhale, arch. There's my little bridge. Exhale, press it down. Eventually, we'll do this a few times, and we're going to hold this. Expelling the breath, locking the belly, but still breathing after that. But we're just going to keep everything in place. Filling up the lungs. Exhale, engaging these muscles more. Then eventually, we'll lift hips up into the air, into bridge. Okay? So first, we're just going to get that rocking sensation, to get that sensation of engaging those low abs, lock it for the abdominal lock, and then rise to bridge. So go ahead and lie comfortably on your back, knees bent, feet flat on the floor. Feel comfortable for a moment. Now the feet, as far as their alignment, they can be hip distance apart, but perfectly fine to take them wider towards the outside edges of your mat. I do that personally because it just feels better on my knees, and it feels better on my back. All right, now your bottom will stay on the floor. You're going to inhale and arch your back, tilting the pelvis. That's it. Exhale and press the low back down into the floor. Feel that nice rocking sensation through the pelvis. A few more times. Inhale, arch the back, creating that low bridge or that little bridge. Exhale, press low back into the floor. Good. Do that a few more times on your own. And this is a wonderful exercise. Just keep doing that. That, like I said, engages those low ab muscles. They're low and deep. And it's great to do this because those particular muscles don't get activated very often. A couple of times that they do get activated, and it happens very quickly. It's like when you sneeze or when you cough. Okay, when you think about that action, all those muscles flex pretty quickly, but then they disengage. So this is a way to really strengthen them. Alrighty. Now take another inhale, arching the back, creating the little bridge. Exhale, press low back into the floor and lock it in place. Hold it. Now you're holding the posture, but you're not holding your breath. Take another inhale, let it bypass the belly, let it fill up your lungs. But as you exhale, see if you can press low back more into the floor. You're just trying to flex those muscles a little bit more, giving a little bit more energy and awareness to that section of the body. Couple more breaths. Let the lungs expand, because you're trying to keep the belly just tightly taut right there. Then your next inhale, fill up your heart space, fill up your lungs, and this exhale, just press feet into the floor and just lift your hips up into the air. And now you can just work your way into bridge. Now you can just lift them up a little bit, or even higher, even use your hands to help lift yourself up if you need a little assistance, adjust your feet if you need to. And then up with the upper body, you might rock left and right a little bit, getting your shoulders underneath you a little, squeezing shoulder blades together. And if you'd like, maybe even interlacing your fingers underneath you, just to kind of hold the body in place. And when we talk about core, it's not just our abs, okay? And I think you all know that. But we want to be mindful that your core is your whole torso. And so we're going to be working the whole torso. In this case, it's the back now, the low back. Back bends. 2 more breaths. If your fingers are folded, go ahead and release the fingers. Wiggle your toes forward a little bit. Maybe extend your arms straight up into the air or even behind you, and just slowly roll your way back down to the ground. Now go ahead and extend the legs out front and reach your arms behind you just to lengthen and extend and stretch the body. You can even inhale right there. And with the exhale, either stay here or start to draw your knees, both knees, into your chest. Just catch the knees in your hands. We're going to carefully start rocking forward and back, breathing in and out. And with a good exhale, rock your way up to seated. And we'll come to boat. Now we're going to break this down as well. All righty? So let's all sit like this, where the heels are on the floor, feet are flexed. We got a nice little mountain peak right here. You're going to hold on to the mountain peak, underneath the knees with your hands. And you're going to use that as handlebars to really lift yourself up. So imagine you're either like against a wall or in a high back chair. So you're nice and tall and straight in the spine. That's an inhale to get that length. Exhale to engage. You can use the breath, exhale through the mouth to engage the muscles so you can really feel that. Now another inhale to feel tall and lengthened. Exhale, engage, and like you're in a reclining chair, you know the handle on the chair right there? You're going to lean back a little bit, just a little. Inhale, keep lengthening through the spine at this angle. Exhale, engage, and if you want, lean back a little bit more. You don't have to, but you can. Now this is boat. You can stay just like this for boat. You can hold on, you can release, or if you walk your heels in close a little bit and lean back a little bit more, your feet will just float off the floor if you want to do that. Again, you can hold on. That'll just keep your spine well lifted, and that's what we want really. Or release and really work on your own. Still breathing in, lengthening through spine. As you exhale, you're still trying to scoop pelvis underneath like you did lying on the floor, but your pelvis won't move because you're sitting on it. But you will activate the transverse abdominis muscles by trying to tuck that tailbone under. Let's move. Breathing in. Exhale, perhaps cross legs if you can, hands in front of the cross legs or even to the side here so you can just swing or step your feet back into plank pose. Let's hold here. Because we're holding that boat pose for some time, you may still feel the energy in your core, your abs. So feel that. Let's add another posture. You're going to set your right knee onto the floor like this, directly underneath your hip. You're going to make a kickstand with this right foot. Just swing it off to the right side. It might even come right off your mat. Keeping the right hand on the floor, you're just going to swing open, taking your left arm up into the air in a nice reaching sensation. Now that left foot, you can do several things. One, I would say flex the foot just so it's active. Now the foot can stay touching the ground, or if you want, you can even lift the foot off the ground if you want. Let's get a nice side stretch. So extend your left arm over your head. Yes, reach. And your foot, if it's lifted, even if it's not lifted, it's moving in the opposite direction. So we're getting a stretch through the side of the body. Good balance there too. Breathing in, and our exhale, let's release, carefully turn, come back to hands and knees. Bring the left knee to the floor, swing the other foot in. Let's do a quick set of cat and cow. You're going to inhale, lift head and heart, arching the back. Exhale, round it out. Do that a few more times, and if you're aware here, this is the same pose or same movement as you did when you're on your back, doing that low bridge work. A little rocking and tilting of the pelvis. As we inhale, create that little back bend. Exhale, we round it all out, being very mindful of pulling belly button, in this case, up towards spine to engage. Take two more. After that second breath, just come back to a neutral tabletop position, and we'll do the other side. So now let's make a kickstand with the left foot. Just swing the left foot off to the side. We'll extend the right leg back, just lifting the knee off the floor. Maybe toes stay on the floor for a moment. Keep the weight in your left hand, and we'll swing open by taking the right arm up into the air. You can adjust your kickstand a little bit if you need to. It's really for balance, so you can stay stable. Good reach through this right arm towards the ceiling. Flex the right foot to keep it active, the leg active. You can even lift that foot if you want, just an option. Extend your right arm over your head, yes, and feel this movement in opposite directions. Reaching, stretching, breathing for sure. Nice. Let's breathe in. And the exhale to slowly return to hands and knees. And just take 3 breaths, cat and cow, on your own. Just keep that mobilization through the spine, that rocking of the pelvis, and that nice engaged belly. Come back to a neutral position. You might step your hands forward a little bit. We're making our way back to down dog, but step your hands forward a little bit. Tuck your toes. With another exhale, just lift knees and hips, downward facing dog. Let's continue the flow. A nice inhale to extend right leg up into the air. Reach. We're going to open this up. So bend your knee, bring your heel down toward your backside, lifting the knee up into the air, which creates a little bit of a twist in the torso, but it opens the hips. Breathe in. Exhale, unwind. We're stepping the right foot up to the top of the mat. Left heel turns to the floor. Make sure there's good weight in that back foot so you can easily get hands off the ground. Rising up, inhale, warrior one. And our exhale here to a warrior two. Make some adjustments with the foundation. If you need to adjust your feet, go ahead and do so. I like to take a little wider stance there. Nice outstretched arms. Side angle, so reach out past this right knee to angle the upper half of the body, and we'll rotate the arms. Right arm comes down, left arm up into the air. This is where I tend to go. I like to bring this arm just to the inner thigh. I'm nowhere close to touching the ground, but you might be. And this is where a block might come in handy if you want to use one. Maybe you just can't quite touch the ground, but a block just gives you that little extra lift. Or you might be able to, bend a little bit and touch the ground if you want to. Let's breathe in. In the exhale, let's turn and bring the hands back down to the floor. We're just stepping right back to down dog. Both feet on the ground, hips into the air, down dog. Just a quick way to get there. Now inhale, extend left leg into the sky. Lift, bend the knee, and then lift the knee straight up, creating a little twist in the spine and opening through the hips. Breathe in. Exhale to unwind, stepping left foot to the top of the mat. Right heel turns to the floor, shifting weight back so there's balance. Weightlessness in the hands, so you can rise up into the air, and warrior two. Make some adjustments. Adjust, settling in, reaching out. Side angle, follow the left arm forward to angle the upper half of the body, rotate the arms. Again, just finding that nice spot that you like for this pose, staying up high if that works better for you, going lower if that's nice as well. But a nice expansion and opening of the body, This is one of my favorite poses. Let's breathe in. And our exhale will turn. Same thing, hands to the floor. Step that left foot back, hips to the sky, downward facing dog. Breathe in. And with an exhale, walk, step, or hop both feet up to the top of the mat. Inhale to rise up halfway. We'll exhale to fold. Let's inhale to reverse the swan dive, coming up to standing, reaching into the air. On the exhale, just bring your arms down by your side. Good. Just take a moment and just kind of shake things loose. Shoulders, hands and wrists, especially after being in those down dogs and planks. Feet and toes. Just notice if there's any tension or tightness from engaging the body that you can just release for the moment. Okay? And while you're doing that, we're going to get set up for a chair pose with a twist. This is where a block could come in handy. Again, you don't have to do this. Let me show you this with a block, quickly demonstrating. I have these thinner blocks. Have you seen these? These are thinner than kind of the typical blocks. But I like the thicker ones better. These aren't that great for me. So anyway, I'm going to squeeze the block. And it's really just a reminder of our center. Everything's squeezing into midline right here. Okay? And so I'm going to sit back into a chair pose. Just watch. And just squeezing in, just making sure I got a good hold here. And what I'm also doing is stabilizing the hips, stabilizing the pelvis, right? Because I'm going to rotate just the upper body to the left and to the right. Okay? And we just want that movement. We don't want movement down here, because we're working the obliques, the sides of the body, and the block squeezing together helps that, okay? Now you could do this without a block and just bring the legs together and squeeze. Do the same thing. What's going to help you to be aware of the knees, let's say you're not using a block and the feet are about hip distance apart like this, okay? You want to be aware of this sensation. I'm going to exaggerate this. Okay, see how everything kind of shifted? My knees went out of the way here, okay? That means the knees shifted, my hips shifted, and I'm really not doing much here in that twist. We really want that twist. So the knees are your guideline here. Lock it in place, squeezing in, and just rotate. And it may not be very far at all. That way you know you're working this part of the body, okay? So you choose. Here, feet hip distance apart, legs together, squeeze, or use a block and squeeze, okay? And we'll come back to mountain pose, wherever you want to start. We're going to inhale, reach into the air. Exhale, take your chair pose. You don't have to sit back too deeply unless you like to. It's just a little bend of knees, hips go back, arms out at an angle. Go ahead and bring hands to heart center though, right there. Look down at your knees and you can see hopefully that they're aligned, and that's where they'll stay. That's where we want them to stay. Hands at heart center. We'll breathe in, and as you exhale, twist to your right. And you maybe just start with a mild rotation and then take a look at your knees again. Make sure they're still in the same spot as they were in your chair pose. That way, yes, that way you know that your hips have not moved and you only have rotated through the upper body. That's what we want for this action. If you can go a little deeper, but not forcing that twist. So certainly don't have to go very far at all. Good. Breathe in. As you exhale, unwind. Place your hands on your thighs. So we're here. We're going to inhale, stand up tall, reach into the air. We're going to go right back into chair pose. So exhale, take your seat. Hands to heart. We're just going to do the other side. Take a breath in just to find more length in the spine. Exhale, squeeze inside, engaging, and then rotate to your left. Even a little bit just to begin. Check in with knees. That tells you where your hips are. If you feel like you can sit down and back a little deeper, go ahead and do so. Just an option. Even twisting a little further if you want to. Again, just an option. Good. Now our obliques help us to twist and hold twist. So we're working. Breathe in. Here we go. Good job. Exhale, unwind, hands on thighs, hold. Because we're going to flow from here. If you have a block, grab the block. We're all just going to slide down towards toes to that forward fold. Hold there because that might be a nice release after being in that twist on both sides. Take a monkey pose, so slide hands back up the knees, re-extending spine. Let's continue. Exhale, bend the knees, hands to the mat, walk or step back into plank pose. Come down if you'd like, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog, which is nice because it stretches the abs. Exhale, downward facing dog. And of course, it's a back bend. When you're ready, inhale, extend right leg up. Reach, bend, and twist. We're going to take another twist. We're going to exhale, bring this right knee underneath you towards your left elbow. You don't have to touch the elbow. Just point to your left elbow. I call this a core twist. Let's take an inhale to re-extend the right leg straight up and back behind you. Exhale, right foot to the top of the mat. Warrior one. Left heel turns to the floor behind you. Find that balance, weightlessness in the hands, reaching high. Exhale, opening to warrior two. Settle into your warrior two. Nice. Okay, a new action here. I call this victorious warrior. Follow me. We're going to reach out over the right leg with the right arm. Hold it there, not going anywhere. Bring the left arm up and over. Turn your palms towards each other like you're holding a big beach ball. Reach out through the fingertips. Yes, like you're reaching out to get something. Or you're handing off that beach ball. And a slight turn, very minimal, towards the ceiling. Just a little bit. Yes, doesn't have to be much. And that really turns it on. The sides of the body. You're working. We'll hold here for about 30 minutes. No worries. We've got this. We've got this. We only have like 32 minutes left in class, so we'll just hold it. Okay. Breathing in. Good job. Exhale, we'll turn to bring the hands down to the floor. Step back, plank pose. Come down if you'd like, chaturanga. Maybe an up dog. Take a cobra if that feels better at this moment. And downward facing. Remember, still going at your own pace. Inhale, extend left leg into the air. Bend, twist open. As you exhale, we're bringing that left knee underneath you towards right elbow. Doesn't have to touch the elbow, just in that general direction. See and feel the twist. Inhale to re-extend left leg back up into the sky. Left foot to the top of the mat. Warrior one. Rising up. Reach for the ceiling when you're ready. Exhale, opening to warrior two. Settling in. Same thing. I call this victorious warrior. Reaching out over that left thigh. Keep the left arm here. Right arm comes up and over. Turn palms towards each other. Keep reaching and extending out in that direction. Okay, the more angled you are, the more challenging this is. And a slight turn towards the side of the room or towards the ceiling really activates this. Another 30 minutes or so in this posture. Minutes go by fast in yoga. And there they are, breathing in. Exhale to turn, hands back down to the mat. Let's step back into plank, finishing your flow. Take that shortcut if you want to. Up dog and downward facing. Okay, we're going back to the floor, so knees to the ground, sit back and sit down. So we're going to go back to the little bridge to wheel. So go ahead and lie down on your back when you're ready, no rush. Knees bent, feet flat on the floor. And take a moment, again, just to melt into the ground, completely relax. Because you've been doing a lot of work. So a nice opportunity just to to disengage, and maybe just to honor and appreciate what you've done so far. Maybe even come back to your personal intention if you set one. Whenever you're ready, let's start that little rocking sensation with the pelvis. We'll inhale to arch the back, creating that little bridge. Exhale, press low back down into the floor, engaging the transverse abdominis muscles. Keep doing that on your own. Inhale to arch. Exhale. I say scoop, kind of like you're scooping through the pelvis. Do that a couple more times. On the second exhale, hold it in place. Locking it in place. Take another breath in. And with that exhale, lift hips off the floor, moving into bridge. Adjust the feet. Maybe getting arms underneath you. Whatever feels right for your bridge pose. We're not going to stay here entirely too long. But just another reopening for the front body. Another back bend to strengthen the back muscles. 2 more breaths. Releasing the fingers if they're folded, wiggle your toes forward, extend your arms straight up into the air or behind you, roll your way down. Let's lengthen the body again, lengthen the legs out front, reach your arms behind you. Just want to get a nice extension through the body. Inhale, exhale, hug the knees into chest. Carefully rock forward and back, rise to boat, or first maybe just to seated so you can get ready for boat. You can do the same thing like we did earlier. You can just kind of set it up with feet on the floor, engage lengthening torso, engage belly, leaning back, maybe back far enough to get the feet up off the ground. You choose. Okay, we are going to add a little action to this, okay? Now you can, if you can just hold onto the legs for this. Actually, you might need to release. Let's try this. You're going to release. You're going to inhale and push your feet forward a little bit and lean back just a little bit. As you exhale, you're going to bring your knees and chest in towards each other. So a little crunch. Inhale, push away. Yes. Exhale, let's pull it in. 2 more. Inhale, push away. Exhale, bring it in. Yeah. Inhale, push away. Exhale, bring it in. Stay here as you inhale. Just get more length in the spine. We're moving. Exhale, cross legs, hands in front or to the side to get the feet back behind you. Plank. Shortcut to down dog. Just bend your knees, hips into the air. All right, now bring the knees back down to the floor. Knees to the floor. Now you're going to bring your elbows to the floor. Like dolphin, if you're familiar with dolphin, you can keep the arms parallel to each other so they're like railroad tracks. But if that's a little uncomfortable, you can just bring the hands in towards each other so the hands touch perhaps and you form more like a triangle, okay? Either one's fine. You're going to tuck your toes, lift the knees, maybe step back a little. So we're in this plank. I call this dolphin plank. So another core strengthening posture, and it probably engages the belly more so than a regular plank, so just notice that. So it's like a long coffee table, nice and long and flat. Hips aren't too high, but they're certainly not too low either. Feeling this in your abs. You even feel like your thigh bones or even your hamstrings are lifting up into the air. Inhale, and exhale, gently set the knees back down onto the floor. Let's come back up onto the hands, and we'll return to a downward facing dog. We're flowing. Inhale, extend right leg out, reach, bend, and twist. As you exhale, right knee underneath you towards left elbow, core twist. Right leg back up into the sky behind you, reach, right knee, right elbow. Right leg back up into the sky, inhale. Exhale, right foot to the top of the mat, warrior one now. Left heel to the floor behind you, shifting the weight back, rising up, warrior one. And our exhale to warrior two, victorious warrior. Reaching out, keep that right arm there, bring left arm up and over. You got it. Turn the palms towards each other, grab the beach ball, keep extending. I call it victorious because your arms are in a V shape. Reaching out, breathe in. Exhale, turn, hands to the floor, step back plank. Hold plank for a moment. We're going to left side plank, which means your left hand will stay on the floor. And you're going to open up towards your right side while right hand goes up into the air. If you're able, your legs are straight, feet flexed, maybe stacked. If you need to, you can stagger the feet. Place one foot in front of the other, or yes, like we did earlier, you can place that left knee onto the ground. Breathe in. Exhale, return to plank pose. You're going to do a partial push-up. This is what I mean by partial. Just like you're going to go down a little bit, like a little push-up, and then push away to down dog. Other side. Inhale, extend left leg up into the air. Bend and twist open. Exhale, left knee underneath you towards right elbow this time. Core twist, left leg back up into the air. Exhale, left knee towards left elbow. Inhale, leg back up into the sky behind you. Exhale, left foot to the top of the mat. Warrior one. Opening, warrior two. Victorious warrior. Reach out, V-shaped arms. Grab the beach ball, extend, slight turn towards side of the room or towards ceiling. Breathe in. And your exhale to turn, bring hands to the floor, step back into plank pose, hold. Now right side plank. Right hand stays on the ground, opening up sideways. If you can, straight legs, to keep them strong and straight, flex your feet. The feet can be stacked, one on top of the other, or stagger the feet, or placing right knee onto the ground. Very strong. Good, breathing in. Exhale, left hand comes to the floor. Same partial push-up. You can go as low as you want, but you don't have to go to low at all. Just a little bend of the elbows, and then push away, down dog. All right, another rest. Bring the knees to the floor. Sit back into hero, or just sit down. Either one. Just relax, grab some water. Okay? All right, so here's how we're going to combine those postures. Let's see, I'm going to go this way, I think. So I'm going to come to my warrior two, left foot forward. Victorious warrior. Here's my V-shaped arms. Nice extension. I'm going to exaggerate this. So this is me turning to the ground. I want to turn more towards the side of the room or towards the ceiling a little bit, which really activates this more. The higher up you are, not as engaging. Down here, more engaging perhaps. Now my right hand is in the air. I'm going to breathe in and exhale and bring this right hand down to the floor. That right foot is pointing in the right direction. I need to point it to the left direction. So I need to spin on my toes until my toes are facing the other direction. This puts a funny sensation in the hips. It almost forces this leg to slide back, stack it on top of the other, and we're in right side plank. Okay? We're going to stagger. So this top foot's going to come in front of the other. I'm sinking. I don't want to sink. I want to lift through the hip. Use the hand to help. We're going to inhale. Watch this. I'm going to exhale. Bend this arm in the air, coming down, elbow to the floor. Keep turning to face the opposite side of the room. And a side plank on elbow. Breathing in. Exhale, bending that elbow. Down to our dolphin plank. Okay, we'll hold here for about 15 minutes. Good thing yoga minutes are really short. All right, downward facing dog. All right. Take up some breaths in down dog. Dynamic flow here. Starting with the right leg. Inhale, extend right leg up into the air. Bend and twist. Exhale, right knee underneath you towards left elbow. Back up into the sky. Right knee, right elbow. Exhale to get there. Right leg back up into the sky. Inhale. Exhale, right foot to the top of the mat. Warrior one. Warrior two. Victorious. Reach out. Yes, V-shaped arms. Extending and reaching, being aware of the torso. Are you facing the side of the room? Okay, that left hand is in the air. We're going to inhale. Exhale, turn to bring that left hand to the floor. Now the left foot behind you, the toes need to spin and point the other direction. And you'll step the right foot back, stack it on top of the other, side plank. Stagger the feet, place the right foot in front of the other. Inhale, reach towards the ceiling with the right hand. Exhale, bend that right elbow, turn to the floor, bring that right hand and elbow to the floor. Keep turning until you're facing the opposite wall while the left arm goes up into the air. Yes. Breathe in. Exhale, now bring left elbow to the floor to our Dolphin Plank. Our long coffee table. Hold. Knees to the floor, sit back, child's pose. So the arms might stay extended there for a moment, but you can also bring the arms and hands kind of down behind you, like you're reaching for your feet, just so your shoulders can relax. That's it. Just 2 more breaths. Let's maneuver our way back into a downward facing dog. So hands out front. You may rise to hands and knees, tuck the toes, lifting into the air. Whenever you're ready, inhale, extending left leg up into the sky, bend and twist to get the hip opener. Exhale, left knee underneath you towards right elbow. Back up into the sky, straight line. Exhale, left knee, left elbow. Bringing it in, maybe touching. Inhale, yes, back up into the air. Exhale, left foot to the top of the mat, warrior 1. Warrior 2. Victorious warrior. Good, nice V shape in the arms. Really extend, reach out. Okay, we're getting ready for a right side plank. Inhale here. Exhale, turn to bring this right hand down to the floor. We need to spin the right foot around, and we can start stepping this left foot back, maybe stacking it on top of the other. You can always stagger it first. You can always just stagger them right away. If you haven't staggered, just place the left foot in front of the other. Inhale, reach into the air with the left hand. Exhale, bend that elbow. Bring that hand and elbow down to the floor. Turn to the other side of the room, left side plank on elbow. Breathe in, and we're going to exhale and bring that right elbow down to the floor. Hold in our Dolphin Plank. We're going to keep the dolphin arms and move into dolphin. Just tiptoe forward a little bit, bend the knees quite a bit, lift your hips. We're not going to be here long. Dolphin. We're going to come back up onto our hands. If you need to set the knees onto the floor to do that, do that. Just meet up together in down dog. Breathe in. Exhale, walk, step, or hop, both feet up to the top of the mat. Inhale, monkey pose. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reverse your swan dive, come to standing, reach into the air. Exhale, hands down by your side, right there. Good, shake it out. Oh, it's a lot of work, a lot of upper body work, isn't it? Is it hot in here? Good work. All right, so we're going to start the sequence with our seated twisting poses. Go through the sequence and have a little surprise. It has chocolate, don't worry about it. It has chocolate in it, so a little chocolate surprise in the middle of that. Okay. If you want to use the block between the knees or thighs, you're welcome to. Here we go. Inhale, reach into the sky. Exhale, take your chair pose. Bring hands to heart center. Once you've found your seat, inhale to find more length in the spine. Exhale, squeeze belly in, squeeze the imaginary block, and twist to your right. Yes, if you'd like, again, you can stay quite mild in the posture, or if you've got a little bit more space, yeah, sit back and down a little deeper, twist a little bit more, but very gradually. Breathe in. Let's exhale it to unwind. Just place hands on thighs for a second. Everything's coming back to neutral. Let's inhale to stand up tall, reach into the air, returning right away to our chair pose. Exhale, hands to heart. Take a breath in. Exhale, we'll twist to the left side. Nice. Relying on breath. Twisting, especially a pose like this, you can kind of imagine maybe like you're wringing out like a wet sponge. Let's breathe in. And our exhale to unwind, hands on thighs, pause. If you've got a block, let's remove the block. And together we'll all just kind of slide down slowly to a forward fold. Hold there so you can feel that release in the back after those twists. Now we'll flow. Inhale, sliding up the legs a little bit, monkey pose. Exhale, bend the knees, hands to the mat. Step or hop back into plank pose, come right down, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. This is all the same, but go at your own pace. And even rest if you need to. Inhale, extend right leg up, bend and twist. Exhale, right knee underneath you towards left elbow. Back up into the sky, inhale. Exhale, right knee, right elbow. Inhale, right leg extends into the sky. Exhale, right foot to the top of the mat, warrior one. Floating right up. Warrior two when you're ready. Victorious warrior. Reach out, V-shaped arms. Good extension through the fingertips. Inhale for that extension. Exhale, left side plank. So we're turning to bring left hand to the floor. That left foot behind you needs to spin around. Step that right foot back, stack it on top of the other, left side plank. Inhale. Stagger the feet, right foot in front of the other. Exhale, bend that right elbow to bring that elbow down to the floor. Turning to the other side of the room. Right side plank on elbow. Inhale to reach high into the sky. Exhale, left elbow to the floor, Dolphin Plank. Here comes the chocolate surprise. Pick up your right foot a few inches off the floor. Bring that knee, your knee, to touch your tricep. Take it back. Toes to the floor. Lift your left foot. Exhale. It's more like your thigh coming to the tricep. And step back. Isn't that fun? Set your knees onto the floor. Come back up onto your hands. Downward facing dog. Just right away to down dog. Inhale, extend left leg up into the sky. Bend, twist open. Exhale, left knee underneath you towards right elbow. Inhale, re-extend leg up into the sky. Exhale, left knee, left elbow. Inhale, back up into the sky. Exhale, left foot to the top of the mat, warrior one. Warrior two. Victorious. Reach out, extend through fingertips. Inhale. We're going to right side plank. Exhale, turn right hand to the floor. Spin that back foot. Step the left foot back. You can stagger the feet right here, right away if you want to. Hold it for a second. Step the left foot in front of the other. Inhale, reach. Exhale, bend the left arm so you can bring that arm down to the floor, spin to the other side of the room. Inhale to reach into the sky, right arm. Exhale, bend that right arm to come down to the mat. Hold. Pick up your left foot. Bring that knee to tricep. Step back. Other side, lift right foot. Exhale, bring that knee or thigh towards tricep. Step back. Hold. Set the knees onto the floor, child's pose. While you're here, check in with breath. You might be a little out of breath. I am. And just take the opportunity to start working your way to baseline of breath. Maybe using ujjayi or that throat breathing, or just slow, deep breaths. to help calm the breath, coming back to its baseline. Three more breaths. Take your time and just rise to hero. We're going to do one more back bend. We're just going to do a variation of camel. So you're going to rise up onto your knees. If that's too much pressure on the knees, I might suggest maybe taking a fold in your mat. So you can just kneel on that fold, that crease. So a little extra padding. Knees are about hip distance apart, so straight lines down. Just go ahead and follow me. Just rise up onto the knees. You're going to bring your hands behind you. They're going to be here, like so. Maybe your thumbs, where my thumbs are, right there, or your palms, like this. But I typically use my fists, so I'm going to make fists. So whatever feels comfortable here. You're going to do two actions here with the hands. First, you're going to push down, like you're pushing your pelvis downward towards the knees. You're making space in that low back where my thumbs are pointing. And at the same time, you're feeling tall. Try to lift yourself up. So hands push pelvis down, you're getting tall. And the other action is you're pushing hands forward, okay? Like you're really just sending the pelvis forward because you want to keep the alignment of hips over knees in this case, okay? So together, we'll inhale, push pelvis down, get tall. Exhale, push hips forward, and then gently lean back a little bit. Do that again. Inhale, push down with the hands, lift up through the sternum. Exhale, push forward gently, lean back a little bit. That's as far as we're going to go. If you can go further, you're welcome to, but this is plenty for our modified camel pose, a back bend. Just a nice heart opener. Feel your sternum, okay, the very center of the chest, high up in the chest, lifting up towards the ceiling. Maybe your eyes are gazing upward. Inhale. Exhale, just kind of rise back up. Come back to child's pose. You might even take the knees a little wider. Sit back and down. Maybe arms extend. We're not going to be here too long. Another child's pose, just to get out of that back bend feel. Let it all lengthen and stretch. Take 3 more breaths. And since we're kind of in this somewhat rounded position with the spine and the back body exposed, see if you can actually breathe into your back. Like you're expanding through the back, just like we expand through the lungs. In the front body, try to extend and open up through the back. Taking your time, just come back up to hero. Slide off the feet onto the mat. If you made a little crease in the mat, you can unfold that. We're just going to lie down. So you're going to swing the legs around to the front, find the center of your mat, and go ahead and lie down. Go ahead and hug knees into chest, and some movement here. Any kind of movement that might feel good for you. I like to start with circles for me, just to get a little release in the low back and hips. Then maybe a nice light rocking left and right, forward and back. Anything that you might consider like a massage sensation for your back body. Okay. Lots of core work, lots of engaging. So we really activated some of the primary places of the abdominal system, the transverse abdominis muscles, that low region, rectus abdominis muscles, kind of that outer layer, which is a little higher near the belly button, and your obliques, and that's the sides of the body. Choose a hip opener. It could be anything like happy baby pose or reclining cobbler's pose, just something to get a nice stretch in the inner thighs. This also affects the back in a good way for some release and stretch. Whenever you feel complete, no rush. You can stay here if you want to. The next pose is another twist, just a spinal twist. You might bring the knees together. You'll take the knees over to the left side of the room while you extend your right arm to the right side of the room, creating that spinal rotation. And even take another awareness of your breath. Maybe you're not out of breath like you were earlier through that dynamic flow. Maybe it's a little bit more gentle and soothing and long. Maybe 2 more breaths here. Certainly welcome to stay here longer if this feels good on this side for you. Let's come back to center. And then down to the other side at your own pace. Returning to, and then just guide your way into Shavasana or any other nice restorative posture to help relax, release. Using props to help support your body in any way if you like that. Settling into the ground. Feel the ease of your breath and body. Staying right where you are. Notice your breath. And as you return to this awareness, take 5 slow, deep breaths. Just generating a little bit of energy and feeling that energy and breath flow and move through your entire body. And even return to your personal intention that you may have set. Just bring it to your mind and your heart. Perhaps in this practice you gained and enhanced your own strength, the strength you already have. As movement returns to your body, slowly and carefully roll onto either side of your body. Just moving into a nurturing pose for a moment. Taking your time from this position, slowly rise and come to a seated posture. Sitting up nice and tall, you're welcome just to rest your arms and hands in your lap or bring hands to heart center. Let's take one more full breath in, fill up your heart space, and a complete exhale. Nice. Hold in stillness for a moment. And as we complete our practice together, we bow, saying, Namaste.